I was so stuck on what I was going through that day. I just accepted the blessing for me and didn't pass it along. What's up, everyone? This is Lisa Fields here, the founder and president of the Jude 3 Project, and I'm here with another episode of things I've learned along the way. Now, one of the things that I've learned along the way is that my suffering shouldn't hinder me from helping others, that I can still help others in spite of my own suffering. And even in spite of my own suffering, sometimes the greatest help and encouragement is me to help and encourage others in the midst of my own things that I'm going through. Now, this was never more evident to me when a few weeks ago I was having a really horrible day. I mean, honestly, a horrible few days. And I went to Starbucks, one of my favorite places, and I'm in the drive-thru and I get to the window to pay. And when I go to give them my phone so they can scan it on the Starbucks app, the lady said, "Oh, the person ahead of you already paid." I was so excited because I was like, man, this is the encouragement that I need. And I drove off. And the thought occurred to me, you're supposed to keep it going. You're supposed to pay for the person behind you. And I was so sad that I didn't pay it forward because I was so stuck on what I was going through that day. I just accepted the blessing for me and didn't pass it along. And I think that's where we are oftentimes in life. We're struggling and we forget to pass along the blessings of God. And in that moment, I remembered this story that I love in the book, Jesus Through Middle Eastern Eyes. In that book, the author tells a story of Mother Teresa when she's in Calcutta. She hears of a woman with her children that hadn't ate for several days, and she goes to take them some rice. And when she takes them the rice, the woman splits the rice in half, takes it in a napkin, and leaves. Mother Teresa and her companion looked at each other with confusion in their eyes, and they didn't know where she went. When she returned, they asked, "Where did you go?" And she said, "They're hungry too." She was referring to a family next to her that hadn't eaten. And Mother Teresa said, "I wasn't surprised she went. I was surprised she even knew that in her own suffering, she knew somebody else was suffering, that she looked beyond herself and her own struggle to see that her neighbor was having a similar struggle. And when she got blessed, she didn't limit her blessing to herself." I challenge you today that even when you're struggling, even when you're going through, to say, how can I be a blessing, even in the midst of my suffering, to someone else? I hope this has been helpful to you. And this has been another episode of Things I've Learned Along the Way. God bless.